catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Storytime. I am so excited to be here with you. And my guest tonight, I come to find out he's local. So y'all, if you are coming in and you are here on Facebook, YouTube, or if you are following me on Instagram, come on over to YouTube and check this out. I have a local young man. Just found out he was local. I didn't even realize we were in the same city. But he is a gentleman that I met a year or so ago with doing poetry, and he also works in the mental health field. He's a clinical social worker. So we're going to have an interesting conversation with him on my YouTube channel. So come on over there. And we're going to get this thing going. Thank you for your patience. You know, sometimes there's technical difficulties, but you know what they say, the show must go on. The show must go on. So listen, it's happening. It's going down right now. So come on over and meet us. And listen, we just want to remind you that we appreciate you. We have so many different people that we have interviewed in so many different episodes. And like I said, this young man, his work is actually on my channel because he was on the Culture of the Unspoken Word with the name of Monroe. And so you can actually see his poetic side on those episodes. But today we're going to get his professional side, and we're going to find out about who he is as an individual, a little bit about his background, and why he does what he does in the mental health field. So that's what this is about. If you've never been to my channel before, it is Storytime with Shout Crystal. Storytime with Shout Crystal on the YouTube channel. Come on over there, engage with us, and thank you for doing that. Like, share, comment, and tell somebody that you are here. Bring somebody with you when you come, okay? In the meantime, let's just remind you that we do have this channel in many places, okay? In many places, you can find us on iHeartRadio, you know, Patreon, a lot of places, you know, Apple Podcasts, so Roku TV. So we're branching out. So if you want to be seen and heard, this is the place where you can make it happen. So we look forward to doing it. Let me tell you how you can connect with me to make that happen. Take a listen. All right, everybody. Are you ready? This is Crystal. I am so excited to have you here on Storytime. I want you to know that now you can be seen and heard. Yes, Storytime has expanded, and you will be able to see yourself streaming live on multiple platforms. So come on over and get with us and check it out. I want you to go ahead and schedule your interview, and you never know where they might find you online. So thanks for watching. See you somewhere on the internet. All right, so with that being said, we're going to get ready to bring him up. We're not going to keep him much longer. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for the patience. Once again, it's Reggie Wlson, a local of Raleigh, North Carolina. Mr. Reggie Wlson, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
I'm just blown away to find out that you were right here in my backyard. All this time, I didn't realize you were right here in my backyard. That's
That's
crazy.
right. Born and raised.
Crazy. Listen, I thank you for your patience, and we just appreciate everything that you do. We appreciate your gifts as a poet too, and not only that, but everything you do. But some people may not have met you before, so before we get into that, tell the people a little bit about who is Reggie Wlson.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, Reggie Wlson Jr. Born and raised from Raleigh, North Carolina. Um, yes, you're right. I am a poet. I love to write. It has really been one of the many things that has sustained and saved my life. But the number one thing is my faith. I am a Christian. My love for Jesus Christ has truly saved me and got me out of a lot of things. And my love for my family, I love my family is big. And my love for social work and mental health has really given me a zeal for life. And that's one of the things that has sustained me as well. So
Oh,
I just love what I do and how I do it.
well, let me ask you this. Everything is great, Dash. You might want to come over here. I have one of your counterparts, one of your people over here on the YouTube channel. Uh, have you met Dash Hushin before? Do you know who that is, Reggie?
I'm familiar with that name. I probably have. I
Yeah,
would love to.
he does a lot of work. He does a lot of work in the field. Look him up. Make sure you check him out. He has a YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
And so, as a child, born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina, and did you always have ambitions to work in this field as a social worker in the mental health field?
Yes. One of my heroes, my aunt Renee, has been a social worker since the early '80s. So I always wanted to follow her footsteps in almost everything that she's done or everything that she's done. So yeah, that's always been something that I've always looked to.
Nice, nice. So, was you quiet or was you outgoing when you were in school, or was you somebody that kind of, you know, laid back and you kind of developed later on and picked this skill up in the latter years?
Always been shy. I've come out of my shell a little bit as I've gotten older, but still can be shy. Yeah,
Okay. Now,
yeah.
Reggie, how old are you?
I'm 42.
42, married, single,
No, I'm not married. I'm not
oh,
married. I am single.
single, and no children?
No children.
No children.
But
And
I have a lot of nieces and nephews that I love like mine. But no, I don't have no children.
okay, okay. And so, what was it like growing up in your house? Are you your only child, or do you have siblings?
No, I have siblings. I have. There was six of us, but it is one, two, three, four now. Four living now, and it was fun. I love all of them, and it was fun. It was fun. I love them now watching the adults that they are. We're all like big kids, but it's like just someone just grew us up in the lab almost. Like
Hmm.
we're bigger um, reflections of what we were as kids. It's fun to see us now.
Okay, okay. So, talk to me about how you came out of your shell, because for you to be shy and then to end up in this field, helping people, talking to people, and helping people to deal with their feelings, when did that transformation take place?
Well, a great question. As long as I'm helping people, the shyness goes away. It's almost like I'm not shy when I'm helping. It's when I'm not helping that's when it creeps in. But if you need help, then all that shyness, bashfulness, uh, all that kind of stuff melts away.
Really? Did you get your certification in education here locally too?
No, no, I don't. No, and it's not in certification. It's the license clinical social work is in social work. I got
Okay.
my master's of social work. Yeah, in education, I wouldn't have been able to get through that. Salute to the education people. Um, but like with social work, as long as it's something dealing with helping people, I'm all for it. Um, Everything else might have some issues.
Really, really.
Yeah,
And so is that where the poetry came in? The poetry kind of helped you to express yourself and begin to articulate your feelings and your thought process?
that's exactly what it is. Uh, that started poetry became Um, my voice, I believe it was about seventh grade, um, where I was almost like afraid to talk, but my pen talked for me.
Mm.
And the Harlem Renaissance, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, they just their pens, their words spoke, and I listened, and then I picked it up and never stopped. And it like I said, like my pen became like it was like a ventriloquist, like it just spoke.
Wow.
Um,
I never heard
and
nobody put it that way. So it was like a ventriloquist. I
yeah,
know people say sometimes it's therapy, it's an outlet, but I never heard nobody say it like a ventriloquist.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
what type of poetry do you do? Is it the sensitive, uh, personal, things to helping people to overcome? What do you write about?
everything. And I believe in that. I believe in writing about everything. I'll write about one of my best friends. He's the laugh. In 10th grade, I wrote about cutting the grass. I had a poem about that. But I write about racism and the effects it has on the anxiety of a person. I'll write about my great grandma who passed away. Grief. I'll write about love. I write about what happens when you lose love. What happens when you don't have love. I'll write about what happens when you feel left behind. I
Mm.
write about happiness. I write about depression. I write about anything, being
So,
hungry,
okay,
anything.
so you have a broad uh, way of expressing yourself with your pen. So when did you write your first poem? What do you remember? What grade you was in?
Seventh.
Seventh grade is when you started. So was this like a class project, or did something happen? How did you discover poetry as an outlet?
I had to do my teacher asked about there was like this assembly, and we had to I was told to pick a poem from the Harlem Renaissance, and I picked one from Langston Hughes, and it was just like, what is this guy talking about? You know, and he was saying words that I didn't quite understand, but it was profound and it was different, and I just had to learn more about him. He was from Joplin, Missouri, and up to that point, believe it or not, I've never met anyone named Langston. Uh,
Wow.
even the name, I was like, this is a cool name I've never even heard. So then I was like, poetry. Like, I mean, up to that point, we all knew about William Shakespeare because that was on TV and whatever. But the Harlem Renaissance, like, I just dived in and I was like, I can do that. That's where it started.
Okay. And how was your poem received?
Beautifully. Um, I don't remember it being a standing ovation because I had to recite his. I didn't write my own, but I had to recite his, and I was like, I'm getting. I don't remember it being a standing ovation, but it was. And I was like, if I can get claps from reading someone else's, maybe I need to sit down and write my own. That's
And
where it
so
started.
how soon did you do that? After this encounter, after this class assignment, how soon was it after that you then did put it to a test and go ahead and write your own?
Like that week, a couple days later.
Okay, so you went straight into it. And
Yeah.
so talk to us about that process, because some people may not know how to do poetry. They may not have ever attempted, or maybe they may be interested. What did you do to get that first piece done?
Hmm. I remember thinking that no one's going to hear this or read this, which is important, I think, in the beginning, but also as it goes by to remember that this poem is for you. And then after that, this is what works for me. Then after that, open it up to others if you feel like it. But at first, write as if it's just for you, and that frees it up. Because if you write first, knowing that other people are going to read or hear, you might um, you might not write freely. You know,
Wow.
if I
So
write
that
a poem right now, yeah, I'm sorry.
no, that's good. That's good. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was different. You said you write for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're just getting the feelings out.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And once
Yeah.
you got the feelings out, then it's okay if somebody else understands it. It's okay if somebody else gets the message, but I'm doing this for me. What
Hmm.
was the first topic that you wrote about?
Me and shyness, me and my shyness, and trying to be heard. Yeah, because that's always been a battle.
Really? And so then the challenge came because now you wrote it, you put it on paper, you got it out of you. When was the
Mhm.
first time you said it in front of a crowd? Was it in a classroom or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, it had to be a classroom. Yeah,
It was a classroom.
yeah,
And was you nervous? Do you remember that day? Because it was a little bit different. Doing Langston Hughes was one thing, but now you're writing your own piece. So
right.
now you probably had anxiety about whether they're going to like it or anything like. Were you having those thoughts in your mind when you had to go and get up and do that one, the second piece?
Yes, yes. Because even um like even now, and I've published a book. It's on Amazon. I have to plug it in. Exodus from the Quicksand. Even now, I still get nervous. So like that doesn't change. I'm nervous until I finish like the fifth, sixth, seventh word. So it's like, um, so when I was a kid, through high school, anytime that I've ever done anything, where reading a poem is involved, I'm still nervous. Even to this day, I've never memorized one of my poems because of nerves. So that's something still I have to work through.
Oh, okay. So you read your poems.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I do know some poets, spoken word artists who actually memorize them,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot to do that. I'm sure. Have you ever recited yours in a public place, like for an open mic or anything?
I've read them in open mics
Okay.
situations, but never recited because that's part of the I call it the shyness part of um, being too nervous to go up there and recite
So we
because
got to get you out of that shell. We got to get you
yeah,
out of that.
I know, but it's the vulnerability of at least admitting it. Now the next part is combating that or getting through it. But you're right.
Yeah.
My point is that it's still something that I struggle with. I'm being real with you.
Right. No problem. And you know what? But you identifying it. That's the first step.
Yeah,
Acknowledging it and understanding it. And
yeah,
so that is where it begins. So just keep going.
yeah.
Now,
You're right.
then you decided, okay, now I'm writing, I'm expressing myself. I get this license, and I become working in the social field, and I start to focus on mental health. When did you take the twist and decide to focus on mental health?
Um, I've always knew that people struggled with things that you didn't see,
Mm.
right? And I always knew that I was a great listener and that I was patient with people, um, and I had compassion and empathy. and I knew that a lot of people don't have those qualities, quite,
Right,
you
right.
know, and I knew that I would like to help people hold some of those traumas, some of those thoughts, some of those um, secrets, and help them with them, and help them with those things, but also find some solutions to go along with them. And I knew that I could be good with that.
Now, what is your target audience? Do you work with men, women, children, or people that have specific background or circumstances?
Um, I have worked with the whole. I've worked with a lot of different populations. Um, Couples are real big. Um, Men are real big, but also I'm noticing that in my career right now, a lot of 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up right now too. I'm noticing that a lot of 50s, 60s, and up are coming on in, and I love to see that too because um, that age group, you would think that the stereotype could be, well, I'm older, so I don't need help, I don't need support because I already know everything, I've lived a life. But they are the ones too that are saying, no, no, I need support too, and I love that because they do.
Well,
And
Reggie,
they,
tell me, with your professional opinion,
Mhm.
what is the first step when somebody knows they need to go talk to somebody?
The first step is what you just admitted, what you just said. Uh, Looking in the mirror and really processing that I need to go see someone. That's the first step, I would say, in my opinion. And then really researching. Psychology Today is great, like typing in something like Psychology Today, really going out and looking for resources. That's another step. Um, and then asking around, because you don't have to pick the first counselor or therapist you see. That's another thing too. And then when you go to a person, ask for a consultation. And if you get the consultation and it doesn't match you, ask that person for a referral or referrals, and then go just like you. I hate to say like you shopping for a car, but you want to get someone that matches you. You don't have to pick the first person you see.
So, explain what you mean when you say mats. If somebody's going out, and I get it, like gynecologists,
Mhm.
dentists, but for a person that you're going to sit down with, get on their couch, or just kind of spill your heart to them, what is one looking for? How do they know it's a match?
Um, you can ask that therapist questions as far as like uh what is their therapy type, meaning some therapists might do the drill sergeant type of way, and there's nothing wrong with drill sergeants, or that's not what I'm saying, but some are more Mr. Rogers like, you know um um and then some are more uh hard nosed. Some do certain type of therapy interventions that are like music therapy interventions, and some are more cognitive based therapy interventions where we're talking about thought processes, emotional processes equaling to behavioral thought processes, and really honing into that. Some are more neuro based, where we're going to spend a lot of our therapy sessions really processing how the brain works. And then some are more based on talk therapy, where we're going to talk about narrative based, uh, and we're going to go all the way back to childhood and really base most of our sessions on that. Are you cool with that? Some people really want to talk about specific things and that's it, or really dive into how the brain works scientifically. Really process, because if you get with the wrong or right therapist, it might lose you.
Mm.
So knowing that before you get into it is important to do, because sometimes you might pick the wrong one, and it's
Yeah.
not that therapist's fault.
Wow. So I've noticed that most people that I talk to after they start to go to a therapist, they feel better. They
Yeah.
feel a sense of relief. It's like they they're wanting to begin to find answers and open up more. So I believe that therapy can be a great resolution for many people because it seems like it worked. I I don't know of, but I'll ask you this: is there times when it's the opposite, where people who go to therapy they're like, "I'm not doing this. I forget it. I'll keep it to myself. I don't want to talk to nobody." Is there times where people go to therapy and then they just shut down even more afterwards?
Yes, that can happen. That can happen because therapy can be hard, especially when you're dealing with trauma. Um, at times we block off certain things to protect ourselves. So when you're in someone's office and something happens where a door inside yourself gets open and a memory comes out that you've blocked for 20 years,
Mm,
all of a sudden now you have to deal with it. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to come back next week and talk about what happened in 10th grade. All of a sudden, no, we're not coming back because I don't want to talk about that no more. And then they never come back.
yeah, it's crazy because mental health is so important, and I know some people, Reggie, they suppress things for so long. Like think about childhood trauma and people who've gone through things, but they can never get the help they need, and they go through relationships, and they go through jobs, and they go through all kind of things before they ever get help. And then you
Yes.
have a person who seeks help right away. So, is there a statistic that says that it's more harmful to suppress it and delay it? And the reason why I ask this question is if there's somebody here who has the option to get help, but they just prolong it, is there a statistic that say you're really doing yourself more harm than good when you suppress it and don't get help?
I'm not, I have to look up the specific um, statistic, but I would say that suppressing things usually is never good. Um, because when it comes out like a volcano, it usually will.
Yeah, yeah.
But that specific statistic I have to research.
Okay. There's a term that I used to hear people talk about a lot, and I want to hear your perspective on it and why you think people do it and the pros and cons, and that's trauma bonding.
Hmm.
People do a lot of trauma bonding. They
Yeah.
get with someone because they can relate and because it feels comfortable because they've been in that situation or they in the same situation, so they kind of they they lean on one another. What's your take on trauma bonding from a professional standpoint?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it is easy to um, seek support from people that have been through things or similar things um, that you've been through. And um, finding uh, finding shelter with people that have experienced things that you have, you know, and that relatability. And sometimes we can feed off each other. The issue comes when it turns into when we're no longer helping each other, we're hurting each other. That's where the issue comes. So it absolutely can happen, I think.
Does that lead to the toxicity when they're hurting each other?
Yeah.
Sometimes some people are so toxic together.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've seen people that it's like y'all don't need to be together because y'all y'all are not. They think it's they think it's love or they think it's exciting or something, but it's like no, this is not healthy.
Yeah. 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 It's with some in some circumstances you're just used to what you're used to, and something that might be healthier is scary
Yeah,
because you're not used to it.
yeah. I could think that. So now that you're in this field, do you find yourself writing more about the mind and the emotions and the feelings that people go through because of your career now?
Yes. Like before, take racism. Before I would write about racism. Now, when I write about racism, it's in the lens of the depression that it causes, or the anxiety that it causes, um, the actual symptomology of some of these mental illnesses, or the those type things that it can cause. So, like in my writing, or grief, um, what losing a loved one actually does to mental health, what losing um, the love of your life as far as a breakup can actually do to mental health. Everything uh, tends to go back there. So yeah, it ties in now.
Yeah, man. And I noticed that sometimes because I do follow you on social media, and I notice sometimes you have heavy days or days where you might be going through something, and you express yourself, uh, and you show the more sensitive side. And
Mhm.
what kind of responses do you get when you open yourself up like that?
Um, Sometimes I think uh, because you are in the mental health field, people don't know really how to take that I'm not a robot.
Right. I think I saw you do a post about something like that. It's like you always are getting dumped on. You have to receive people coming to you with their problems. So at some point, it has to get heavy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know. Do you take it home with you mentally? Do you take it home? Because like a person who works in an office, right? They have a deadline. If they meet the deadline, they don't take their work home. But other people who don't meet the deadline, they might take it home because they need to finish it by the next day. But what do you do as a mental health person? Are you able to leave it in the office and then pick it back up the next day, or does it go home with you?
It's hard because um, it's a difficult thing because you're trained to, okay, you have to leave it where it is, have work life balance, and keep moving, come back the next day, and all that kind of stuff. But you're not a robot. So like when you hear things, you know, it's hard not to still worry about people or hope for the best or um, those type things even after sessions.
Right.
It just is. So you have to intentionally, mentally, emotionally, and physically put things in between you and your work, or it will be 24 hours, and that's not good. So you have to um, do some self care and work life balance, or you will be working 24 hours, and you just can't do that.
So many people go to work and the job says, don't bring your problems to work.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to come in, you have to smile. They say if you work on the telephone, if you smile, then they can feel it through the phone. And
Yeah.
so many people are walking around with so much baggage. And people are hurting. Any advice that you have that for someone who may be watching this that has a family member that they know is going through something, they just can't get them to open up, they can't get them to do anything, they kind of shut off, I mean, they just kind of, they know something is wrong, but they can't pinpoint it. Any advice to anybody out here watching this that might need some direction on how to get their family member and close friends to help?
My advice is to make sure that your family member knows that you're there, because oftentimes the family member doesn't know, even if you think that they should know. They don't always know. Now, the make sure that they know that your arms are open and the doors are open for them to walk through when they want to. You know, make sure that resources are available, that they know that they're there, that they know that you're there, and that's the important thing too, um, because um, one thing that's important to know is that oftentimes people be like, "I didn't know you cared," or I thought you didn't have enough time," or "I didn't know such and such." It's always "I didn't know." Um, that's one thing in my experience. Um, if people knew, it would be better. So
So
more
that's
people
that.
should know.
That's leading up to my next question. I was going to ask you, what is something that you hear often uh, that people feel, and the reason why they go to a therapist or a licensed clinical social worker, and they didn't go to the person in the house? What is something that you often hear? And I guess you just said it. One of the things they often hear is like nobody cares, or I have nobody to talk to because whoever they have at home is not making it known. Hey, if you're going through something, I'm here. Or they too busy.
But they don't feel heard.
Mm.
They don't feel heard. The person doesn't care, um, or they're in therapy because of that person anyway.
So, or they don't want to talk to them because it's them.
Yeah, right, right.
But now that's interesting. They don't feel heard. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's dissect that. How do you make somebody feel heard?
Um, oftentimes, what when people say things like I don't feel heard, the other person is quiet when the other person is talking, only so that they can wait for the other person to stop talking so they can start talking. They didn't
Wow.
actually hear them. They
Wow.
didn't actually hear the words. They didn't actually hear what the person was trying to tell them. and process it to try to change their own behavior. I'm talking to you for a reason. I'm telling you using effective communication what needs to be changed, what I feel this happens a lot in couples therapy. Like what I'm going through, what you just did, what I didn't like about it, and now I want your reaction. The other person didn't hear none of that. I'm just wanting you to stop talking so I can start talking.
So
that's not making that person feel heard, and that's the issue.
So people need to understand how to convey how that person made them feel. They need to be able to say, when you do that, you make me feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you can tell the person that, now y'all can have a communication. You have something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just get mad or react. You have to let them know, listen, I don't like the way you talk to me, or when you raise your voice, or when you cut me off. And there's also the thing I've heard a lot of times, what is it? The sandwich? Is it the sandwich? Or what is it? What is it when you do the good first instead of what?
Yeah, the compliment sandwich thing.
So I've learned, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I've learned that if I say to a person something and I attack them, the guards go up. Mm-hmm. But if I say something like, well, I kind of don't feel good because the way you said that, it made me feel insecure. Instead of attacking them for yelling at you, whatever, if you say it like that, then it makes the person want to come back and say, well, no, I didn't mean to make you feel insecure. That's not what my intention was.
Right. So
I believe that people have to be better communicators.
Yeah.
That's true. Because communication is the key.
100%.
Because there's so many misunderstandings that I think lead to arguments, and so much stuff that could be resolved that people realize it was all a misunderstanding.
100%. 100%.
And that's so crazy. I mean, even in society, sometimes, people be like, what you looking at? Oh, I'm not looking at you. I was in a daze.
Yeah, right.
But a person thinks you staring at them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So looks can be deceiving, so that's crazy.
Yeah, effective communication that's probably number one. And even like between parents and kids, like everything, vice and both going both ways.
Wow.
That's number one. Usually number one.
Reggie, how do you think the field is going since you've gotten into this profession? Do you feel as though more resources are becoming available, and or do you think the budget cuts out there, if the government is making it harder for people to get help? I mean, what do you think is happening?
I think that there's always a struggle between resources and situations. But one thing that I am happy about is I think the mental health stigma is decreasing and reducing, especially within the Black community. I'm noticing it's not where I want it to be, but I think that it is better than when I was a kid.
Oh, that's good.
I think that more people are recognizing the benefits of therapy. When I was coming up, it was, I mean, the Bible and the belt. That's that'll get that boy right. You know what I mean? That's how it was. A lot of, not saying that Black people didn't do therapy back in the day, but it was it was fewer and far between. Now
Wow.
a lot of more people are invested, and I think that the trajectory, you know,
Now, is there a person that when you got into the field that you looked up to, that you felt like you wanted to practice and go about providing services similar to them?
I honestly don't. I mean, unless a name or a face comes to mind later on, I don't remember seeing a lot of male therapists growing up, if not any, unless like something sparks my mind later. To be
And,
honest with you,
and male African American at that.
that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
African American, so
honestly,
that's good. And so you said that you deal with a lot of men and you deal with couples.
mhm.
The men, I'm happy to hear that men are coming because a lot of time men were closed off. They weren't coming.
Yeah,
Coming more voluntarily now? Are they being court ordered, or are you seeing more people
vol-
actually saying, "I want"?
voluntarily.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Is it because that's like they at their wits end? Like, man, I'm gonna lose my mind. I need to talk to somebody because I'm gonna hurt somebody if I don't.
no, it they just recognizing that um they need to talk with someone to deal with some of those uh just wanting some peace and
Peace.
trying to find it, and also working through some childhood things, because childhood will affect your adulthood. It just will.
Yeah. They
um
say,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, I remember when I used to see there was a poem or something that it says, "Children learn what they live."
Hmm.
So it's all about how you come up. Your foundation, it makes you who you are. It builds your character, it builds your habits and your decision maker, everything, your morals, your values, everything about you is all about your upbringing.
Yeah,
It contributes to it, you know. And so many times, so many people have to go back and unlearn things
that's true.
because they didn't come up in a great environment.
Yeah.
Is there any better way to do that? Like if you know that you've got out of it, you're in your own space, you've removed yourself from the toxicity, but you just want to clear your mind and get a fresh start. Any recommendation for somebody who needs to go about that unlearning for their own peace of mind, for their own mental health?
To give yourself grace that what you, especially when we're talking about what you experienced as a child, to give
Sometimes
yourself
it's adults too, though. Sometimes it's the teenager,
mm,
young adult. You got some people they stay in the house for a long time. You got some adults that don't leave home.
right. Well, as a child first, to give yourself grace that those things that you experienced or went through, um, especially if it was abuse and things like that, obviously, to give yourself grace to know that that wasn't your fault, because a lot of adults truly believe that those things were their fault, and
Yes.
that's what they battle with even in adulthood. um, and it can be hard to combat those thoughts and feelings 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. Um, so really processing that with them and understanding that. So that's that. And then as far as the adults, sort of the same thing, like giving yourself grace to forgive yourself for some of the things that you might have done, um, that now you realize were mistakes, that you can't change the past, but right now we're in the present. We can do something about that. The future hasn't been, is not here yet, so that's something that we can't uh, deal with because that's later on. Right now, we can deal with the present, so we can do something about that, and that's part of the main thing too that we really are trying to work on too, like not living in the past. We can deal with it, not living in the future. We can focus a little bit, but really honing in on the present. When we do that, people are usually happier and more content when we can do that.
Yes.
Um, and
Yeah.
that's hard to do. I'm not
Yes.
saying that it's not, that it's easy, but if we can work on that, everything else we can work out. That's what I would say to that.
Now, I'm also thinking about the person who needs to forgive the person
Yeah.
who who put them through all this.
Hmm.
Like now they have overcome, they got the mental health, they got their peace of mind, but they need to forgive the person and not carry the grudge or the anger.
Hmm.
Is that because that could fester and that could contribute to the mental health trauma because you could get rid of a feeling about a one portion, but then you can hold a grudge. You got over the domestic violence or the abuse or whatever it is, but now you're mad at the person because if it wasn't for that person, you wouldn't have went through that.
Right.
So do you find that a lot too, where somebody they've gotten over the root of the problem, but now they got a bigger problem because they're carrying a grudge.
Yes. Yes. I've seen that too. And honestly, it's two ways of viewing that, really processing what that person wants to do, honestly. And this is the part of therapy too, that is uh, that can be difficult too. It's processing what the client wants, because I might want them to forgive.
Right. But they don't want to.
If they don't want to, it's on them. You know what I mean?
So
Um,
so as a professional,
yeah,
you have to respect their decision and their choice
yeah.
and have to help them to find a healthy balance in their
Hmm.
choice. Is that correct?
Hmm. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Now it can be my job to process, like you said, the healthy choice, and really, hone in on that. Um, but if they want to, um, then help them in that direction too. But um, if they don't want to, and they are like, I'm fine, and I'd rather just not even talk about that person, I'm over it. Okay.
Wow. But you know what's interesting to me as I listen to you explain all this, and then I go back to what you said in the very beginning about Reggie being shy. So if you that person, you're an introvert,
Yeah, for the most part.
go out and you're in a room and you're at an event, you're sitting at the table, you're not engaging with the people at the table, you're just kind of keeping to yourself.
For the most part.
But if a conversation come up about mental health or social services, you all in.
Yeah.
Or poetry.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting. Speaking of poetry, what is a piece that you could share with us that you wrote that speaks to the mental health climate we live in today?
Um. Or you want me to read something?
I'm saying, what? Yeah, I know you'd be reading it because you're not reciting it, but
Right.
yeah, what is something I would love you to share one piece that you feel as though could
Uh,
perhaps, could perhaps make someone think twice about getting therapy, or make someone think twice about forgiving, or make someone think twice about the healthy choice, or anything in regards to some of the things we talked about. And at the same time, are you practicing like where you're taking on clients privately, or they can't, like, you can't give your information that people can't come to you? They have to go through a particular office or setup.
if they go to, excuse me, give them.
But what I'm gonna do, I'll give you a minute because I'm gonna put the camera on you.
Okay.
I'm gonna spotlight the camera on you so that you'll be able to once again say your name, tell the people how they can reach you or how they can follow you, and if there's anything that you do when they are following you, like on your platform, that you want to know about. And then if they can, I don't want to use the word book, but if they can uh, make an appointment for that consultation, if you're taking new clients, that, and then just give them a piece that you would like them to hear and explain what that piece is about so they kind of know what it is that you're getting ready to share. And you let me know when you're ready, and I'll full screen you and give you the spotlight.
Okay. Put me on the spot trying to
I'm
find
putting you on
something.
the spot. Then we're gonna help you get out of that shell. We're gonna help you. We're gonna help you today to get up out of the shell. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Reggie Wilson. He is a licensed social worker. He focuses on mental health. He's also a poet and a spoken word artist. So I asked him to share something because a lot of his writings now is all about what he's learned from being a licensed social worker and the things that he's learned about the industry. So I want you to hear, because I've heard his poems before, so I know how deep he can go. He's definitely gonna give you something thought provoking, because this stuff be. He told you his first piece was when he was studying Langston Hughes, right? So if you know anything about Langston Hughes, then you know that Reggie Wilson is not just gonna give you something like roses are red, violets are blue. That's not how this is. It's a little bit more than that. It's some more substance than that. But I also want him to share with you who he is. And I want to thank you for being here. Let us know. Leave a comment if there's questions that you have, even after. If you come back and do a replay after, let us know what your questions are. You heard me ask some questions. You heard some of the things we discussed. If you have a personal situation and you want to know, just let us know. If you want to make a comment on something that you heard us talking about, put it in the comments. And we'll make sure that we go back and give it to you, okay? And you all said that I put you on the spot and give you enough time?
Yeah. Yeah, you put me on the spot, but I'm ready.
You ready? All right. You know what they say, you gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Reggie Wilson. Check him out, y'all. Here we go.
All right, all right. Yes, my name is Reggie Wilson Jr., licensed clinical social worker. Um, if you wanted to find me, you can go to the Armstrong Center for Hope. That is, you can go to the website armstrongcfh.com. Um, we have great clinicians there, and that's armstrongcfh.com. And I'm on Instagram at encourage underscore RW1912. That's encourage underscore RW1912. This piece I'm about to read is from my book, Exodus from the Quicksand. It is on Amazon, Exodus from the Quicksand. It's called Therapy in the Shadows. So if you're struggling with your mental health, know that almost everyone does at one point in time. It's okay. Therapy in the Shadows. There were many sunrises that I wish would never have risen. There were many stars in the sky that I wish would have fallen out of sight. Every mirror I saw, I wanted to burst and crack. I wanted to unhook myself from this world and everything in it. Before I continue, this poem has a lot going on, so I want to remind everyone about 988. That's a crisis number. So this is one of those poems. If this is too much for you, please leave the video or the now that this is one of those poems. Therapy in the Shadows. There were many sunrises that I wish would never have risen. There were many stars in the sky that I wish would have fallen out of sight. Every mirror I saw, I wanted to burst and crack. I wanted to unhook myself from this world and everything in it. I hated me so bad that it made me mad looking at others, wishing that I would not have to live having to hear over and over and over and over how blessed I was, how beautiful I was, how wonderful I was, and never seeing it for myself. I need internal glasses to see what people claim they saw in me, and yet I always felt invisible. Despite whom talked to me, despite the eyeballs on me, despite how many heard my voice, I still felt like air that floats in and out of rooms, around and through people, up and down, left and right, diagonal to the point, and oftentimes mercurial. I wanted to be seen so bad, but my shyness would not allow me to speak loudly. I wanted the spotlight, but my low self-esteem kept me in the shadows that marked death for me. And I was cool with that. Death seemed like a welcome friend, a friend coming to see me, coming to chill with me, that understood me. Oh, how I hated what I had become. I wish the sun had stayed in perpetual darkness. I wish the stars had burnt out, all because of the hatred that I had for me. But I was fearfully and wonderfully made. I am God's child, and yet my twisted mind wouldn't let me see it. What I did see were all those pill bottles, and I filled with what I felt were little capsules of truth. It spelled out the funeral home name, so I wrote no on my left hand and I wrote don't on my right hand, just to remind myself not to eat those capsules. No, don't, no, don't, no, don't. Well, I did not. I am still here fighting against those thoughts day by day, understanding that going the distance must count for something. Now I wait and I look for the sun. Now I look and I connect the dots of all the stars, searching for the North Star to lead me home. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And now, as I knew then, but something different happened. A change happened, a dream, an epiphany, a vision. Now I stand here asking for forgiveness, and I am also asking for mercy. I want to see what others see in me. I want to now and know why I never believed them. That answer I already know, but one thing is for certain: those capsules did not dictate my fate. My mind was not in charge. My body was built and made to be destroyed, rebuilt and destroyed and rebuilt again. That is all I know. And you know what? I am a superhero, a man who breaks and comes back together. I stand in the furnace, and I am so glad that someone is in there with me because I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Those pills spelling my death are not my God. Therapy is the tool that he gave me, and it sharpens me, allowing me to shine like my mama's hope for me. I fell out of the womb with tools, honed and rehearsed on the couch.
Wow.
Poem. I'm still here, y'all.
Wow.
Y'all are here too.
Therapy is not my God. Ooh, that was a bar right there. That was a bar. Wow. When you said, I wish I had internal glasses to see what others see. I said, I wonder how many people think that way. Like, they don't see it and they just, it's like that's what people feel, but they don't know how to say that because
Yeah.
they're not poets, you know what I mean? But they don't see it when they look in the mirror because of the low self-esteem. When you said the captives, you wrote no, don't, no, don't. I went, wow. Yes, you are still here, and I thank you for sharing that piece. And suicide ideation, some people have them and some people don't. Some people don't never go to that point. They just have the depression, and they just get in a low place, and they don't know where they are. They don't know that they're in a low place because they think that's their normal. Do you find that when you do therapy that sometimes people, you wind up diagnosing them as depressed, but when they came to you, they didn't know they were depressed. They just knew they were low.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because they might not know that they fit all the criteria. Um, but then because they wouldn't know, you
Right,
know.
right.
But that's why you have certain tests, and you have. Well, I don't.
And that's why people need therapists. That's why people need
Mhm,
communication. That's why people need to pay attention to one another.
mhm.
Like if you have a family member and you have a busy schedule, make some room on the schedule so you can figure out how you can hear and see the other people in the room.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't never hear and see them, then you'll never know that they're feeling low or they're feeling unseen or unheard.
Yeah.
And it might be able, do you agree that it could be prevented sometimes if more people had taken more time out to see and hear their family members? Could it have
Yeah.
been prevented?
Mhm. I think that I think a lot of things go unseen and unheard that way. Everything. I mean, you can even everything. You can look at your car. A lot of cars. I mean, everything. If we don't catch things early,
Yeah, it's more damage. You get there,
mhm,
you thought you were going for one thing, and they gave you a whole list. oh, by the way, you need this, and this. It's
Right.
like what? So yeah, you got to make sure that you're doing what you need to do. Well, that's oh yeah, that's it. Well, I'm so glad that we had this conversation because I think that's important. Now, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want people to know about? Like, what next? You have a book out. Talk to us again about your book, how they can reach your book, and any future projects that you have that are going to be coming up too.
Um. Yes. Well, the Exodus from the Quicksand was published in 2024. They can get that. Anyone that wants that can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon. Um, I will be, Lord willing, uh, a new book should be published hopefully between the next few months or Valentine's Day around there.
Oh,
Um,
oh, you got some love poems in you too.
yeah. That one would be called Streetlight. Um,
Oh boy,
Streetlight
where's
Love.
that coming from? Where's that one coming from? The street light.
Yeah, that was actually supposed to. Well, that's just. It was supposed to come out last Thanksgiving. I mean, not Thanksgiving. Last Valentine's Day, but stuff. It just didn't happen. But we're hoping for this one or earlier.
Well,
But
I'm gonna tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I found out that he's in my local city. There's some events coming up that I know about. I'm gonna have to make sure that you know about them so you can go out there and you can participate. Because there's some people doing some things that I think that if you get involved with them, it may help you to come out of your shell. So I believe that. Now you said you're in the Garner area,
right next to Garden, Southeast Raleigh,
so you right there. You by the high school?
the Southeast Raleigh High School.
Uh huh.
Yeah, about 5 minutes away. That's where I went to high school.
Did you? Okay, because I attended Word of God for like almost 18 years. That was
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right next to it.
my daughter played basketball there and did some stuff. That's why I said I was like, "Dang, he right in the neck of the woods." So it's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
What? Well, yeah, we're gonna have to make sure. I want you to make sure you text me so I can make sure that I connect you because I have a couple of people that do a lot of things in the poetry spaces, and I think
Cool.
do you socialize or do anything with any other poets in the area or because that's what's going to help you too if you're in the spaces that curate these events be around people to help you to get it out of you. They're going to help pull it out of you. So that's what we're going to
And I don't do enough. No,
yeah. Okay.
no.
So yeah, so make sure you text me. I'm gonna make sure I send that to you because there's something actually coming up this weekend. This the 26th, I think it is. So there's a couple things, and these are positive individuals. These are very very strong entrepreneurs with believing connections and positivity. So I think it's a great opportunity for you.
Okay, cool.
I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for you. And then also expand the network for future clients. You know, so I think it'll be a win-win for you. Well, I'm so glad. Now, I always like to give my guests the opportunity to thank anyone that they want to thank when they come on, uh, whether it's family members, customers, anyone. And so I'd like to give you the opportunity to do that. And again, if there's anything I didn't ask you that you want people to know about with regard to your mission and why you do what you do, and anything I might not have touched on that you might want people to know, because I want people to understand who you are, why you do what you do, so that when they do meet Reggie and they come across this, they be like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that about you, Reggie." Like I want people to find out stuff about you that they didn't know. Like, what does Reggie do when he's not writing poetry and he's not talking to somebody on his couch.
um, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. Number one, I appreciate you. Um, a lot of respect for you and what you do out here. Watch all the time what you doing, your moves out here.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
yeah.
I
Um,
know who's watching. I know you watch. So that's thank you. That's just it. That's the thing about online. You never know who's watching because they don't always say anything.
right, right, right. Um, like to thank my mom, my siblings, my aunt, my everybody that's all my family, friends. Um, I'm also in school.
Oh,
I'm working on my DSW. That's my Doctor of Social Work.
nice.
So my doctorate degree.
Oh,
So I'm doing that. So poetry, work, and school. I'm currently in summer. Uh, so happy about that.
nice. Congratulations. Yeah. When do you finish?
Should be finished in 2028.
Okay.
Um, other than that, just working hard. Working hard, praying hard. I know
Praying
it's
hard. Work
I
hard.
know
Yeah.
it's supposed to be playing hard, but
Salvation.
that praying hard is something serious.
That's serious. That listen. That's what. Listen. That's what's keeping most of us going. Like you got to have the faith.
That is
If
serious
it has
business.
not been for my faith, whoo, Lord have mercy, where would I be?
No,
We
that's right.
gotta have faith.
Got to.
You have to have that faith, and I know that's an important part of it for a lot of people. You know. Any final thoughts you want to leave with the people? Because I don't want to keep you out here. I know you have to go to work in the morning. I thank you so much for being here too. I thank you for watching. I thank you for the replays. I know it. I see y'all out there watching. Leave a comment. Let Reggie know you watch. Just say hello. Give me
Yeah.
some words of encouragement. Sometimes we have to be more supportive. Let me just tell you something. If you're watching people on the internet, it's okay to leave a comment. It's okay to say something. It's just amazing to me how many people that sometimes people don't know how. They be
Yeah.
like, "Where do I do that? Where's the button?" There's a button. If you look on your screen, you're going to see a little box. It looks like a little box. You just say comment and just write in a comment. You can say, "Hey, this is Aunt Sally. This is your neighbor. This is your coworker. This is your former client. Thank you for what you do. You helped me. Yeah, he's good." Because anything, you know. But try to do that more if you're engaging, stopping by people's channels. Say something. It helps them too. It lets the people know what you want to see more of. Like give them a word of encouragement. It
Right.
goes a long way, you know. But I thank you so much for that. Any final comments?
Um, Empathy goes a long way, and as was just expressed, encouraging people is important, and being nice.
Mm.
Just like what was taught in kindergarten. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you don't have to be nice. It goes a long way. It's real simple. And I appreciate y'all listening.
Be nice. Be nice. You never know how you can make somebody's day.
That's it.
Some people may never hear a kind word or hello or see a smile. You can make a difference. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith. I'm your Hope Catalyst. I want to thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit the button somewhere on the screen. It says like, it says subscribe. Come back again. We'll be back on Sunday. We're here on Sundays at 9 and on Wednesdays at 8. And if you have a story, let us know because your story matters. Everybody is a celebrity in their own right here, story time. We respect your story and who you are, and we just want you to help be seen and heard. So, thank you for watching. Thank you, Reggie. Much love to you. Continue success to you. We might bump into each other in these streets, Make sure you text me so we can get you that connection made. All right. And
Right.
yeah. We got to get you connected with some of the communities down here that'll help you get out of your shell. Ladies and gentlemen, keep hope alive, whatever you do. And I'll see you on the next story time. Thank you for watching.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime.